Season 3 faction rallies are right around the corner, and with the drop of Warmind and the recent 1.21 update that went live on the 28th, new information has surfaced about what we can and cannot do with the new Season 3 faction rallies. What's going on, Guardians? Sly here, back at it once again with another Destiny 2 Warmind video for you. Season 3 promises to bring new and updated faction rallies, among other things such as new world events, but the recent update 1.21 dropped not only Crucible Labs and some bug fixes, but hidden items and new information about what we can expect from our favorite faction vendors. So in this video, we're going to go over some of the things that stood out while I was taking a look over the new data within the database. Also, notice my voice, it sounds like I've been chain smoking for like 95 years. I apologize, but I think I'm either getting a bad cold or the beginning of a flu. Either ways, you gotta keep going. So first thing, let's go ahead and start it off, talk about some of these changes. Now, Season 3 faction rallies have improved in tons of ways. Most notably, they are changing up the token system, similar to how the Vanguard has changed. If you haven't noticed, the Vanguard has loot you can get, but in order to get the more rare and more desirable items, you have to turn in enough tokens to rank up all the way to 50. The exotic ship requires the rank of 50 to get, which if you've been playing since vanilla is really no big deal. We all have enough tokens, so just simply turn in enough tokens, rank up 50 times, and boom, the ship is yours. Well, the faction vendors will be set in the same way, except we will be using what is now called renown. From what I understand, renown is a new system that will be used to rank up your pledged faction, and once you hit a certain rank, you can start to acquire the more desirable items that faction vendor is selling. But wait, there is more to it. Renown is also kind of like a modifier. The more renown that you have, the faster you can rank up your faction, but hidden within the new update, it shows renown as this. While renowned, your damage and health decrease, and your health regen is slowed as well. Gaining more renown increases this effect, but you will lose some renown upon death. So basically, the higher your renown is, the faster you will be able to rank up. Looting lost sectors, destroying caches, doing public events, all of this will gain renown as well as contributes to ranking up. Now on top of that, you can also equip your full set of faction gear to gain a permanent renown, something that will not go away upon death. There will also be daily milestones and challenges to complete lost sectors with like 4 times renown or 5 times renown. Again, those change daily, destroy caches while 4 times renown, stuff like that. We don't know what they all are, but we do know that daily milestones will have a big part to play in this. So they really did change up faction rallies significantly, and honestly, I actually think it sounds kind of fun. I guess it really all just depends on how hard it is to rank up and how much this renown nerfs your Guardian. Just remember, guys, that it is all for the loot. So speaking of loot, what will this new loot be, you say? Well, in Season 3, each faction will have their own unique emote, exotic ornaments, and of course their own shaders, ships, sparrows, emblems, weapons, and armor. But most importantly, guys, each faction will have an exotic masterwork catalyst for sale as well. However, you can only get it if you reach the rank of 50, similar to the ship from the Vanguard. Now, I'm not quite sure how the whole renown is going to work in terms of ranking up, if renown still drops tokens and you use those tokens to rank up, or if renown uses a point system. However it works, it's going to take quite a while to hit 50. Now, it used to be easy when the whole chest glitch was around, or you could simply run through a lost sector back to back to back. But since Bungo fixed most of those methods, it has now dropped the number of tokens available per hour, at least in the old faction rallies. I'm still sure that challenges, chests, and milestones will be the dominant way to rank up, but we will find out the most efficient method to get rank up the fastest when we know if anything has changed for sure. So be sure to stay tuned to my channel, and I'll let you guys know as soon as we find out. Now, about those exotic catalysts. Each faction will have one catalyst for sale. Of course, you have to unlock the ability to buy it first, but there is also a catch here as well. So, 3 factions, 3 exotic catalysts, each character buys 1 catalyst, and boom, you're done, right? Whoa, 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 not so fast, my friends. According to the information found within the new update, faction rallies are now account-based and not character-based. So what does this mean? Well, it simply means that you can only choose 1 faction, period. No more 3 characters, 3 pledges, 1 pledge for all 3 characters, and you're stuck with that pledge for the entire faction rally. How do we know this? Well, within the update, it shows dialogue that will be visible when we first visit the vendors in the tower for the first time. And in there, it says this: pledge loyalty to insert faction here. Once you pledge to a faction for this rally, you cannot pledge to another faction for any other characters on your account. Choose wisely. This means that if you grind your ass off, you can only get one catalyst per faction rally. And these things don't happen all the time. I think we only had 2 or 3 faction rallies in total within Season 2. Now, if you can't unlock it by getting to level 50 your first time, then not only do you miss out on that catalyst for that first faction rally, that means you're going to have to repledge to the same faction next time so you can finish grinding the faction levels. That will leave only 1 rally left, if that, and then 2 catalysts. So, that is quite a bold move by Bungie here, and guys, I'm not gonna lie here, I kind of like it. It's a ballsy move making players choose like this, but it puts weight behind your decision, something Destiny has been shying away from for quite some time. So for instance, what if you choose the wrong catalyst and it ends up being a terrible choice or not as good as you thought, and the other catalyst ends up having some kind of secret perk attached to it? I can already see Reddit like lighting up like Christmas, man. Salt sandwiches for days. But anyway, guys, that is a huge change. Alright, Guardian, so first let's take a look at these catalysts. Now, like I said earlier, the exotic catalysts become available once you hit top rank, which is 50. Just as a quick side note here, the exotic ornaments each faction vendor is going to have, they also become available when you hit rank 50 as well. Now, I don't have a picture of them, but I will let you know here in a second what they are. So first up, let's talk about Dead Orbit. Dead Orbit's exotic catalyst will be for the Graviton Lance, which is a hugely popular weapon right now, especially in the Crucible. It's powerful no matter where you take it. So if I were a betting man, Dead Orbit is going to win Faction Rally 1 by an absolute landslide here, at least for this first one in Season 3. So the Graviton Lance's exotic masterwork catalyst will lead you to the following boost of stats. You're going to get plus 20 added to your range and plus 15 to your aim assist on top of the perk Hidden Hand, which we all know is pretty good for weapons such as scout rifles, hand cannons, snipers, etc. Graviton's a pulse rifle technically, but it kind of shoots like a scout, so I think it's going to have a really good effect on it. Now, Graviton is already a beast in the Crucible and in PvE. This is just going to make it even more so. All this extra aim assist will make it pretty hard to beat, guys. Now, what we have to do in order to upgrade it, well, that is still a mystery, at least for right now. Now, earlier before Season 3 launched, Bungie did say that some of the exotic catalysts would take some time to complete, and others are simply a one-and-done kind of thing. So what the Graviton Lance will be, well, we'll have to wait and see. Alright guys, moving along here, next up, New Monarchy. Upon reaching rank 50, New Monarchy will be selling this sweet business catalyst. So on top of the usual bonus of dropping orbs, it will gain an additional perk called Serious Business. When this weapon is fully spun up, the flinch from incoming damage is greatly reduced, which isn't too bad, excuse me, but I think it could be something much better. And by the way guys, if you haven't had the chance to try out Sweet Business and the new Lunafaction boots, that combination is just insanely fun. The recent ammo buff to Sweet Business on top of the Lunafaction buff makes this thing absolutely incredible. Once you run out of heavy on like a striker raid boss, just pop out Sweet Business, throw down a rift, and go to town, especially an empowering rift. It is so much fun, and I highly recommend it. Especially weapons that have bad range. When you put down an empowering rift, it now gives you a boost to range on top of a boost to damage, and it reloads instantly. So it is just an absolute joy to use. So much fun. Highly recommend that, guys. Alright, and finally, let's move over to Future War Cult. The FWC will have the Sunshot Catalyst upon reaching rank 50. Sunshot is already a great weapon, and even more so since they buffed it in Warmind. But the Catalyst will grant you an extra 30 to range and 20 to stability, which is a huge boost. And it'll make this gun pretty freaking deadly. I mean, it already has great reload, great stability, but this range boost on top of even more stability will make this weapon a great choice for your energy slot. Now, as for the exotic ornaments you can get from these factions upon reaching rank 50, Dead Orbit has a Warlock helmet for the Eye of Another World, Future War Cult has the ornament for Knucklehead Radar, and New Monarchy will have the ornament for the Crest of Alpha Lupi. I personally believe the Titan chest piece Crest of Alpha Lupi does not get the credit it deserves. If you have not tried out the Crest of Alpha Lupi, it is amazing. Since raid chest pieces don't really do that much for you anymore, I always use Alpha Lupi for high level endgame activities. It heals you every time you pop a shield, which was a lifesaver back when Prestige Leviathan was at 330 and we were all at like 300, 305 with mods. So it was a handicap of 25, which was pretty steep. And like I said, a lifesaver when you need it most. If you haven't messed around with it, I would definitely try it out. works great in the Crucible as well. Okay, so moving this show along here, next we're going to take a look at the faction emotes. Now, of course, we don't have a preview, and I completely missed the emotes actually until I saw the video from Unknown Player, so props to him for finding that. But we have the Future War Cult emote called Side of the Future, Dead Orbit has Arak's Greeting, and New Monarchy has Hail the Monarch. Now, once again, we have a catch with these here as well. Just like in Destiny 1, you couldn't use the exotic class item unless you were pledged to that faction. So, same thing here, guys. You cannot use these specific emotes unless you are pledged to that specific faction. So, if you want to use Arak's Greeting from Dead Orbit, you have to be pledged to Dead Orbit. Otherwise, you can't use it. I mean, how crazy is that, right? Once again, another bold move from Bungo. And the last thing in the Destiny database that we're going to take a look at are the legendary emblems. Now, for Dead Orbit, we have a new one called Orbit Remains. Future War Cult has a pretty good looking one here called Zero Future. And then finally, for New Monarchy, 4 times a ruler. So yeah, guys, expect huge changes to faction rallies the next time they go live. And I think that will be next week, June 5th. We'll know more once the Bungie Weekly Update goes live, or as the cool kids call it, TWAB, but I suspect June 5th will be the day. Anyways, that is about it, Guardians. Not so much, excuse me, a quick video, but there was a lot to talk about. So hope you enjoy it, and when the time comes, choose wisely. I have absolutely zero idea who I'm going to choose first and foremost. And imagine if they actually added some more changes. Imagine if you could only get the catalyst if your faction won that rally and you were rank 50. I just jinxed it, didn't I? I think I did. Anyways, I'm out, Guardians. Sorry about the voice, but when it rains, it pours. First my back, now this. Well, at least it'll be out of the way in the time for E3. Anyways, y'all, that is it for me. So excited and expect updates on Twitter the entire time I'm down in LA. Later, guys. Keep those eyes peeled for tons more D2 Warmind coverage, as well as loads of new Anthem Division 2 videos coming out here soon. But until then, this is Sickly Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.